All right, today's show for this and that. Living in California, we've been in drought land, so every drop of water that I probably capture is probably going to be a good thing. So this is not going to be your typical kind of like how to kind of like water capturing barrel kind of video. There's probably thousands of them already out there, so I'm going to kind of basically walk you through my learning curve in terms of like getting this stuff done. Right now, basically, it's tapped into the gutter system, which is very typical. Okay, it looks pretty cool. Looks like the rain is actually coming off the roof and making it to the water barrels. Some debris, I think from the roof because of all the roof work we just recently done, but you can see the little trickle coming down and hitting this guy. So these containers are basically repurposed from olives containers, which actually is a pretty cool thing. Comes in many colors and whatnot. I could have chose gray, kind of match the house, but I kind of wanted to make it stand out a little bit more. So right now, the rain is being diverted to the first barrel, and then the barrel, as it fills up, is going to connect to the blue line and fill the second barrel up. And as the second barrel tops off, it routes itself back into the storm water system. It is actually taking the water from this blue line and actually dumping it into the second barrel. So in theory, actually kind of works. Water kind of finds its own level. So some of the lessons learned might be that I would just route that line to the garden. I think that'll probably be my next little project as I kind of go forward with this thing. You could actually have the main line either fill the first or the second. It's actually pretty flexible that you can move the hose around, so that's kind of a cool thing. Also, the neat thing is that we actually DIY some hoses on the bottom so that instead of having, when you open up to access the water bucket, like one of these guys, we attach like a flexible hose onto here, and as you open up the water, instead of it shooting out, then you can actually place it in the bucket, and it has it fall a little bit easier to do what you need to do. So now you could take the water and do whatever it is that you want to do with it. You could like water your plants, you could kind of like wash up things. In this case, I'm not doing anything with it other than show you guys how it's coming out of the barrel, so I'm gonna dump it back in. So I think what's great about these projects is that certain cities or counties, they'll subsidize your project. In my case, they almost pay for 100% of everything. The only thing that I basically added to it was the purchasing of the CMU blocks on the bottom. I lifted it up so that it has a little bit of height, so that you can easily kind of put a bucket underneath it versus it on the ground. And then also gravity-wise, it's a little bit easier, right? When you have things elevated, then gravity just flows downhill. I think some of the lessons learned would be that I caulked a little bit more around like the inlets in terms of like how the connections are from one tank to the other. I really wanted to maximize the capacity of the water as well, and that's why I kind of like put it up as high as I could. Hey, so pretty cool. The first barrel got filled up. Actually, it's like up to the rim. Fed it into this blue line to the second barrel. It's filled up too. And I guess if I was going to improve things, probably would seal this guy up a little bit more. As it comes, the overflow would go back into the downspout into the system. So in theory, everything works. So I say fill to the rim to both of them with the latest rains. These actually barrels came almost pre-tapped. You kind of see one on the side here, and that this one might, in the end, I might use to route to the garden, for instance, and water something else. But basically living in, like I said, California in drought land. This was actually a nice project. And then you think about it too in terms of like maybe from a seismic perspective. So you think about it too, like it's actually great because one, we're actually in drought land, and then two, in California, there's this thing called earthquakes. So in some sense, it's not like this is portable water, but in a pinch, I imagine that you can use this, you can flush your toilets, you can boil it, and if it gets to that point, then I'm sure if you had nothing versus like capture rainwater, you would be able to utilize it to your fullest extent. So that's the reason why I did the project, and actually it was kind of fun too because it's kind of a greener way for me to like get back into the gardening and whatnot. So hope you like the video, and then if you like the things I do, hit that button down there, subscribe, and then we'll get into something else that I don't know what we'll get into yet. So that's the fun part of learning. Talk to you guys later. Bye.